Hey everyone, it's your boy Freeze hanging out in the Deceptor Lab, and today I'm going to continue my combiner series, and I'm going to talk about Abominus, just because. And I'll tell you how I kind of got there. I actually had a request to go look at Center Twin and some of his abilities and some of the good combos with Center Twin, and then I realized, and I'll actually show you guys because I'm on my test account right now, and I've actually got Abominus running, so we'll get to it pretty quickly. But I don't have on my live account the 4-star Center Twin. Been waiting for it for a while, and I was like, well, what if I do wind up pulling Center Twin? Is Abominus one of the combiners that I see worthy of, investing in? And so I started going through everything, and this is I took him on a test serve. I ran him up to level 20, and honestly, he's so far from what I've seen from him, he's been pretty impressive. So I'm looking at his stats now, and so he's got that health of 77,000. You know, honestly, that's not that far health wise under where you've got, Overlord. I got a maxed out Overlord as a 5-star, so that's good. It's a little bit even stronger than Bruticus. So if you saw my video that I had about Bruticus, he's who I use in my combiner outpost currently, both in the live server and on the test account. And I got him at 72,000 health. When you go back and look at Abominus, you got about 5,000 more health, a little less damage, at 500 even. Bruticus at 535, but I feel like the abilities on Abominus give him a little bit more value. So we'll take a look at those. So you got Toxic Zone, and you'll have to excuse. I'm on a test server. You have to excuse where some of the verbiage up here is a little bit jacked up. It's got the coding up there. I'm assuming that's for the colors, but that's kind of just like a typographical error. But it says Toxic Zone. You jump and shoot an acid ball, dealing 2,500 acid damage in a large area over the course of 8 seconds. And then it actually combos well with the Electrical Rush. So Electrical Rush says you rush into combat, dealing 2,100 damage to the final target, and you also spread electrical fire along the way, disabling targets and causing them 2,500 electric damage over 6 seconds. If you hit a target affected by a toxic zone, the electrical fire propagates in a large area. So we're going to take a look at that. But what really sold me on this, and why I might invest in Abominus in the future once I have that 4-star Center Twin, is this Force Shield. So Force Shield says generate a Force Shield reflecting 90% of damage, and after 6 seconds the shield explodes, causing 2,000 damage in a large area. Upon death, the combiner shields your bots or defenses from 50% of damage received for 10 seconds. So wow, like that's a lot, man. That's an all-inclusive special ability right there. I'm tired of talking about it. Let's go test it out on the battlefield. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull myself off camera real quick. We'll give it a run. And as always, I'm always trying to see how these bots fit in with my particular war team. And hopefully you see something that lets you know whether or not it fits in yours as well. So I got one of my playtester buddies up here, Thunderbot, that I drew on the Prime Zone matchup. So we'll see how it goes. Alright, so for me, I'm going to go ahead and try to do a Ramjet sack since that's what I picked on my team. And for me, yeah, I got caught anyway. So I figured it was going to be a mine there. Luckily, I always use the Vector Prime Cool. So it'll just pop back in place. I'll go in there, pop off a couple of outposts, and we should be good to go. Alright, so now that Ramjet's down, I do want to make sure that I actually get my team on the ground just so I can take advantage of my Nexus Prime Core. But after that, I'm going to go ahead and run Abominus. So here we go. And let's see what he's got. So for me, I think the way that makes the most sense when using Abominus is probably, or using any combiner really, is to try to go after these build bots. So I'm gonna try that. But you notice that when we were reading the descriptions, you can get a little bit more out of them by using those first two abilities and you combine them together. So that shield kept him up a little bit longer than he probably would have, and it cleared out a little bit of stuff in the front. Like I said, I got both of those build bots, so I'm pretty satisfied with that. And then I'll just drop my team in to kind of take care of the rest. But that shield they got was going right there for the bots after he died. And right now my bots aren't really taking a lot of damage, so that's pretty good. I'm pretty impressed by that. Something I'd definitely be interested in using them on the real, on my on my live server. Metroplex stayed alive. Let me go throw down some minions to distract him. But yeah, Abominus did his job. As it worked a little bit, he went down a little bit quicker than I thought he was going to, but I'll probably just give it another run. But yeah, it's getting tough out here, man, to be honest. I'm trying to figure out from the standpoint of which combiners to level. Like I told you guys before, I did that video on Tripredicus. I'm currently leveling Tripredicus, and I think I got him get ready to go to level 11 right now. I kind of neglected him because I didn't have all the 4-star pieces. Now I do, so I'm still running him. But then Space Ape dropped a bombshell on me by saying they were gonna release Galvatronus, and I got all the pieces for him, honestly. Also, regardless of how they decide to do the final variation, I got all the 4-star pieces for that. So if that's a good combiner, that's gonna present me another challenge. But I will cross that bridge when I come to it. Alright, so that's how you did in the Prime League zone. On the Prime zone, let me try again. I'm gonna bring it down one. I'm gonna bring it down to zone 15. See, because I wanna, for video purposes, see if I can get them to last a little bit longer in the battle. Just because I like to see a couple of things. I like that when I use my combiners, I like to try to keep them on the battlefield long enough for me to get another ability use out of the Titan. So that helps too. So yeah, like really, I've only used this dude like once since I put it on my playtest account. So like I'm really learning as I go. Now one thing I did notice in that first run was that if you got a lot of stuff like and I think this is a perfect for showing the video on this, because he actually tore up quite a bit of stuff in a small area. So what I'll do is I'll drop my team down and I'm gonna run Abominus on that opposite side. Like I said, I like to try to capitalize off of that Vector Prime Core. This particular base doesn't have a Titan, so the Titan's tearing up some stuff too. But at the same time, I want to see how quickly I can get some of this stuff down. So I'll go ahead and go for this missile launcher. And honestly, I might try to go up here to the top. That electrical charge is taking too long. And the outpost bots are kind of drawing me towards them. But yeah, I kind of like this dude. This dude's doing alright. So now I got a shield up there. Now I cleared that entire side, so the shield's not doing much for me here. I'm saving me from a little bit of MDS damage, but I'm about to take it out. But yeah, this is definitely a bot that I think that I would use on my war team. I would feel comfortable with him on my war team. So yeah, at some point I do plan on investing in him. And here's the big problem. Like I said, is that earlier I'm gonna have that problem of trying to build Tripredicus and trying to also build Galvatronus once I get to that point, once he's released. So I have some decisions to make, particularly if I get Center Twin. That's typically how it works. But at the same time, I should be going into the Shannick store and starting to work on my combiner spark so I can level as many combiners as possible when that time comes, especially with this weekend being a raid event, which I'll talk about that later on in the week, because a lot of people were talking about different tactics that they wanted to use for raid events. Personally, I think we should change tactics for almost every event, but I'll talk about that. I'll probably do 3 videos this week because I still want to do my Wednesday video as well. But yeah, man. So one thing I didn't get to do, and that's because I already had my combiner beacon charged, is I wanted to talk about Abominus on defense, where I think he's actually really solid. Abominus occasionally, now I've gotten some of my pieces together in place since then, but Abominus has actually been really good defensively because of that shield ability. And let me actually go back to the game screen for a second, because on there you can see that defensively, that's the ability that I chose. Oops, there he is. So yeah, that's the ability that I chose right there, is to use that shield to try to reflect some damage and that, and redistribute that damage to the opposing team. So I think that's might be where I see the most value out of him. I mean, he'll be a little bit stronger than where I have Bruticus, so that'll also be an option for me. Until it depends on what happens first. I might get Lyle Kaiser earlier as well, and obviously that's the meta defensive combiner right now. So we'll see what happens. But anyway, tell me what you think. What do you think about Abominus? And is that something that you invested in, and you think that's something that I should invest in? But other than that, I'm about to take off for the day. I will be making a video tomorrow. I gotta see if I can get my series together where I rate combat bots. I want to try to do that one soon. If not this week, then possibly next week. I'm gonna try for tomorrow though, but if not, I'll come up there with some new content. So as always, if you like my content, don't forget to like and subscribe to my videos, and subscribe to the channel so you never have to miss any updates. You can always just catch everything as I post. But other than that, I'll talk to you guys later on, and I'll see you on the battlefield. Freezius out.